I cannot believe that I have to make a follow-up video to this because of how dense this character's fans are. Now, I already talked about it on my most latest stream. Sirene fans are genuinely some of the most delusional people in the entirety of this game, who blindly defend her value because they so badly wanted to prove the haters wrong during her original beta. And although, to be honest, it was mostly successful, there was still one long-lasting issue that her kit always had, which I talked about in my last video, which is her generalist value. This is a character whose majority value, majority stock, is tied to the entirety 3.x Chrysos Air roster. And if she isn't best in slot for all of them, then her value will start going down quickly, right? Now, I recently made a post calling Sirene a scam. And the reason I say this is because it's now confirmed that Blade in 4.3, before Sirene has even gotten her fucking first rerun banner, is competitive to Sirene in Sirene's most popular team in the game, Mono Rem, right? And I'm getting comments from people being purposefully dense, which I will clear up in this video, right? The first one being that Sirene isn't a scam because Blade isn't better. I didn't say Blade was better. I said he's competitive. However, even Blade just being competitive, he has 10 times the value of Sirene. And this is why Sirene is a scam. Sirene's entire existence, once again, is to support and be a best-in-slot teammate for every single Chrysos Air. This isn't the case. Heislin's triple dot does not use Sirene. Phaedon barely even gives a shit about having specific teammates. He's probably the one most prone to being indirectly buffed in the future by more generalist supports, the same way he just was by Nova Sparkle, right? Then you as well have what's it called? Cassie, right? Now Cassie as well, the main team, the most popular one. Blade is competitive to Sirene. He doesn't need to be better than Sirene for Sirene to be a scam. Let me put it into perspective. You move on from your Cassie team, you can put Blade in almost any team in the entirety of this game, and there's nearly no anti-synergy. He doesn't have any gimmick where he wants more remembrance characters. He doesn't have any gimmick where he's reliant on one DPS or a specific version's DPSs. This does not hinder him, and a majority of his debuffs are general, meaning you can put this guy in any team. You can put him in an HP scaling team, in a follow-up team, you can put him in an Anoxa team, you can put him in a team with Welt, you can put him in a team with Acheron, you can put him in a team with Yun Li, you can put him in a team with nearly everybody in the fucking game, and he's gonna give you the performance, right? He's gonna be top tier, if not the best, in a lot of them because of how strong his debuffing is, currently being the best debuffer at base, no Lyco, no Eidolons, in the entirety of the game, right? So not only are you getting someone comparable to the niche support who is literally created, molded around the idea of fitting in a caster's team, and he can be competitive with her, but he gives you 10 times the value outside of this specific team. This is why I call Sirene a scam, right? Blade is 10 times more valuable of a character than Sirene is because of the fact that he's also a generalist, being able to attain this performance and compete with Sirene for a few of these teams. That is what is so impressive. Yes, maybe, Sirene with higher investment. Some people were bringing up E2. Like, this is the code people need to go to. E2 Sirene is best in slot for all the heirs. Higher Eidolon investment, Sirene is just best in slot for all the heirs because of better damage and better synergy. This is what people need to resort to, right? If I am giving, if there's a new player, right, and there's the choice between Blade and Sirene, they would genuinely have to be slow to have to choose the Sirene. And this is my entire point. Sirene is looking very similar to a Jiaoqiu situation. And listen, this isn't a Sirene specific thing. I've already talked about this before. This just happens because this game is Honkai Star Rail and it has the power creep that it does, right? This is just what happens naturally in this game. It isn't only Sirene, who's a niche support, who gets or loses value over time because of the game's power creep and stronger supports. This applies to almost everyone. This applies to Cypher. This applies to Jiaoqiu, right? These are the more named ones, right? Blade, as a matter of fact, during this V1, just outvalues like every single support in the game. And I had some very, very dumb arguments coming after me, saying something like Tribby was made for follow-up, and Tribby no longer being best in slot for follow-up means that I should doom post Tribby. One, Tribby is much more general than Sirene. Tribby is a much better partner for Ashvale than Sirene is, which I also originally predicted. But two, who the fuck said Tribby was made for follow-up? Like, yeah, she has follow-up. She was not made for follow-up, though. She was definitely made for the Herda, and the reason she has follow-ups is because the way the Herda works is that the more enemies attacked on field, you get more energy for her. And the more enemies attacked, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that'll generate more energy. And so if you have a constantly follow-up attacking support with the Herda, then that is the fastest way to generate her ultimate in comparison to any other teammate in the game. Tribby was not at all made in mind with follow-up. This is the equivalent of idiotic takes back in like mid 3.x when people for some reason deluded themselves that Tribby was made for Cassie because of one synergy in which it's because she's an HP scaler, right? Same thing with Blade. Blade wasn't made for Cassie. I doubt they had Cassie in mind at all when it comes to Blade. He's definitely mainly made for follow-up. It's just that because he's HP scaling, because he consumes some HP, he can be used with Cassie, and he can be as strong as he is currently, right? I don't know why people think this is like something that I'm specifically targeting towards Sirene. It's just a natural thing that happens in this game. However, the reason I focused on Sirene is because, once again, as I said at the beginning of this video, Sirene has like the most delusional fan base in the entirety of this game, whether it be the casual fan base or the more meta fan base. Just admit that she isn't a good, long-lasting character. Literally, the only argument 99% of people make for Sirene outside of Air and Rem teams is on ult characters, because they literally don't have any other option, which even that might be taken away from them, considering Himiko is now leaked to be erudition. Her relic set seems to be about ultimate damage. She's a main push. She's likely going to get a dedicated support. If they make a real ult support, unlike whatever Sirene is now stuck to maybe 3 or 4 of the air DPSs, and that's it. I need you guys to understand, this is like being on the level of Ceridra right now, which is not good, right? And here's the thing. I'm not saying that she's bad with Anoxa. I'm not saying that she's bad with Phanon. I'm not saying that she's bad with Cassie, right? Once again, yes, comparable to Blade. You are right. However, Blade outside of this one specific niche team that you're fucking nitpicking is 10 times better than Sirene in most case scenarios, which is my point. There are so many different DPSs and so many different teams in this game. The current Sirene propaganda is exactly the same as Jiaoqiu's propaganda for Acheron when he was getting his first rerun right before Cypher's banner. I literally remember this shit. Oh my god, Jiaoqiu still has great value. He's still kinda generally usable, even though everybody knew he was ass back then. Oh, he's gonna stay best in slot for Acheron. He's not gonna get any competition. Then Cypher comes in. People in the beta are like, oh wait, Cypher could be competitive. Cypher might even be slightly better. Jiaoqiu mains kept lying, being on the subreddit saying Cypher isn't going to be better, Jiaoqiu's going to stay better, Jiaoqiu's Acheron's main dedicated support, and then that's not the case anymore, right? And it's only after this guy has been officially out, or Cypher has been officially out for like a couple patches, where it finally starts to sink into people. Cypher was actually kind of noticeably better than Jiaoqiu for Acheron, not just competitive or anything like that. Like, she was really, really strong because of the save true damage being able to bypass a lot of enemy gimmicks such as damage reduction, right? I don't hate Sirene. I mean, I think her fan base is pretty miserable, but I don't hate the character. I have E2 Sirene on my E6 Phaenon account. I have Sirene for my mono rem here. I'm going to be dead honest with you. I regret pulling Sirene. As someone who didn't get E2 Sirene on my mono rem account, I regret pulling this character. This character could have been Blade. And Blade, I could use with literally every single other DPS on this account and have incredible synergy with, while also getting similar performance on my Cassie team, even if I replaced her with Blade, right? And this is my point. In my eyes, I value generalist characters who are able to stand out on so many different teams from different archetypes in this game. I give characters like that significantly higher value, because what happens when you want to move on from a comp? Right? What happens when you get bored of mono rem? What happens when you get bored of a Chrysos Air DPS and you like Sirene but you want to use her in a newer character's team? Now, yes, the newer character can likely wheelchair her, but is there going to be that great of synergy? Probably not, considering the way Sirene's kit works. That's not applicable to Blade. Blade is that much of a behemoth as of his current V1. You're going to probably be able to pair him with upcoming Avon. You can probably put him with Evanescia. You can put him with... Bro, I'm seeing Firefly clears with him. He goes everywhere. And his value vastly exceeds that of Sirene's. And this is all, once again, before she's even fucking gotten her first rerun banner, right? Me using HOS's comment on his thoughts about Blade being comparable to Cassie, once again, because people are spreading misinformation about what I'm trying to say, is not me saying that Blade equals better than Sirene and a Cassie team means he has better value. No, it means the value you get from the pulls you put in for Blade versus Sirene comparatively. Blade is 10 times more valuable, since not only is he a generalist, but he's such a strong generalist that he's able to compete against Sirene in some of her more favorable niches, while in Blade's niches, Sirene gets fucking mollywopped, right? That is it. This is the last video I'm going to make on this. I don't understand why this character has the shooters it does, why they like fucking sugarcoating the fact that she's obviously just going to age badly. It's going to happen. It's absolutely inevitable. It doesn't matter what feelings you have around this character, right? I've already talked about this before. I don't have a bias towards characters if I like them, right? I like Cassie a lot. I don't have a bias towards her. I like Huohuo a lot. I shit on her a lot, and as well as her Nova Flare. I absolutely despise Yao Guang, and the only reason I even give this character attention is because of how important she is for Elation. It's simply a fact that Sirene has aged terribly. Her original design, the original reason that she was sold, is as a dedicated, irreplaceable support who noticeably upgrades all of the Chrysos Air teams. She isn't even really that much of a best in slot for half of them anymore, right? Like, come on, bro. Like, cut me some fucking slack. What am I not seeing that these Sirene stands are? I mean, once again, literally maybe the only valid argument that I've gotten is, oh, if you have her E2, if you have her at like fucking whale levels of investment, Leviathan levels of investment, Blades is worse in specifically this mono rem. I mean, dude, it's a joke. I'm sorry. It's just an absolute joke that people need to resort to like this vertical investment angle. Love you all. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great night. If you like Sirene, that's fine. If you don't want to pull Blade for your Cassie mono rem, that's fine. I'm not saying you need to. I'm just saying Blade just mogs Sirene in terms of value for the current state of the game, and he'll age way better, much more similar to a Tribby, unlike Sirene. Peace out.